instead of practicing only the scales, practice over a chord progression with your scales. This is a lick. Yeah, I'll play only the pentatonic scale. If you don't know what to practice, you are not lazy at all. You don't just have a guide, you don't have a roadmap. But don't worry, because in this video I'm going to show you exactly what I do when I don't know what to practice. Sometimes I find myself noodling. So if you don't know what that means, noodling means coming up or using random ideas to just play around the guitar. Something like this. While noodling has its own importance, if you want to practice effectively and get results quick, I'm going to show you what to do. All I want you to do is to watch this video to the end so that you get the best way out of practice. So there's something I used to do, or I started doing when I was learning the guitar. This was how my practice routine started. When I realized that I could not do some things, I started adding it to my practice routine. So for example, let's say I don't know how to play my major scale, for example, in different positions. So what I used to do at that time was to say, okay, you know what, in the next 1 week, every day I'm going to practice only major scales, right, for like, let's say 30 minutes, or either I can use time, so let's say practice 30 minutes, or I can play my major scales 100 times in a day, right? So what I'll just do is to pick up the guitar. So in the morning when I pick up the guitar, when I'm practicing, or whenever I have the time to practice, I'll just pick up the guitar and play my major scales. Position 1. So imagine doing this over and over and over again for 30 minutes, just going up and down. Doing it, right? That makes sense, right? So I used to do this most of the time. That's step 1. So imagine doing this for all your skills, right? So I'll advise you to just pick a skill. For example, if you're struggling to play scales, or if you're struggling with a technique, let's say picking, for example, alternate picking, you can say, okay, for the next 3 days or for the next 1 week, I ensure that I practice alternate picking 30 minutes every day. Just 30 minutes every day. There's something it's going to do to you. So imagine doing this for all areas that you're struggling with. You're going to make progress, right? Yeah, so that's one step. So another thing to do also is to not just learn those skills. It's okay to learn all those skills, but what happens or what leads to that effective practice, right, is to put all those skills into context, not just playing them randomly. Contextualize it. For example, if I learn how to play the pentatonic scale, I mean, it's okay to just play around when I'm noodling. Like I can play around with my pentatonic. Right? But I feel like it's going to make more sense if I have a chord progression playing in the background and then I'm jamming over it, right? That's going to make more sense. So what I started doing was that, okay, if I wanted to practice, I'll just play a chord progression and jam over it. So I advise you now, when you have learned all those skills now, practice with a chord progression. That's the tip. Practice with a chord progression and then use the skills you have learned to try and improvise over the chord progression. Instead of just playing them, instead of just practicing the skills, instead of practicing only the skills, practice over a chord progression with your skills. So take for example, I'll say, okay, I'm going to play only the major scale. I'll pick only the major scale. I don't have to do much, right? Then I'll play this chord progression in the key of D, something like this. Major scale. Right? Practicing only with the major scale. So keep doing this. I'll keep doing it until I explore different options. So I'll advise you, just keep practicing, right? By the way, if you don't know how to solo with the major scale, I have an intermediate guitar course that teaches soloing, so check it out with the link below. And then I've created a lot of videos on soloing on my channel. Ensure you check it out. Alright, so I'm going to play the major scale in different ways. I just ensure like different inversions, combinations of notes just with the major scale. That's one step. Another step is to do the same thing for the pentatonic scale. I'll say, okay, you know what? I'm going to play only the pentatonic scale. So over that chord progression now. Stuff like that, yeah, right? So practicing over a chord progression, right? The next thing you can do to practice over a chord progression is to practice with licks. Now, what are licks? Licks are just like combination of notes, spices that you just add to a chord progression instead of just soloing around. So a lick is like a phrase also, right? So you heard me playing something like this. These are some of the licks. Stuff like that. So they are phrases. So you can just learn a lot of them. I have some on my channel, so ensure you check it out or learn from the internet, right? So when you are playing over your chord progression, this is a lick. Yeah. And then another practice tip is, let's say you are trying to work on your speed and all of that. Practice with a metronome. So we all know what a metronome is. Practice with a metronome because it's gonna help with your timing, tick, 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 yeah. And whenever you want to learn something, just ensure you learn it slow first before trying to get it fast. In fact, when you get it slow and accurately, speed is not going to be a problem for you. Yeah, so I believe with these practice tips, you are going to be more effective. The essence of this tutorial is to show you some of those effective practice tips that you can use to build your guitar skills and just improve faster than you expect. So I hope this video was helpful. If you want to watch more videos, like I said, I have an intermediate guitar course actually that talks about soloing, improvising. So if you like what you heard me doing previously, just ensure you get the course with the links below. And if you like what you see in this video, subscribe, and I'm going to see you in the next one. Cheers.